But now we just gonna get into it, bro.
Hey,
We
man.
just gonna do it. We got a whole bunch of questions that we gonna ask. We gonna answer them. I'm with my boy.
What's up, man? My name Aquiles. They be calling me Alex. Right now, I'm really focused on just reading and just trying to get my mind right.
That's all you gotta do. It's all about just focusing, just staying focused, consistently trying to become 1% a day. Even if it's just reading,
Yeah.
it's just the little things. They add up over time.
The
But not-
compound effect, you know.
Yeah, compound anything. Like it's something I be saying with trading. 1% a day. I be saying with the gym 1% a day because over time, if you think about it, 1% a day is a little bit in within the say few days. But if you look at it in the span of 1%, say in the month,
Yeah.
1% for the next
That's 30% you're
2
looking at a
years,
month.
3 years, it all adds up. 1% one day for 100 days is 100%. That's how
Yeah.
you got to look at it. But we gonna get into it. We got a whole bunch of questions. We're gonna start off with how to build a discipline. I'm gonna let you go first. How would you describe? How would you build discipline?
So building discipline, I feel like the best way to do that is well, first things first, set goals for yourself because you still want something to push you, towards
Always.
developing discipline. Another thing is small habits. So like, for example, like small habits for me would be like taking 45 minutes out of my day to go hit the gym, or sitting down for 30 minutes to an hour and reading a couple chapters.
Fact.
Just really put you when you build discipline, you really just want to execute. You can't build discipline if you just don't go ahead and do it.
Nah, that's facts. So how I would build discipline, you got to look at it. Discipline goes into multiple things. Discipline goes into what discipline really is doing the things that you don't want to do regardless how you feel.
Yeah.
Fuck how you feel. You're going to do it regardless. If it has to be with going to the gym, you're going to go to the gym regardless how you feel. If your body hurts, if you feel sick, maybe not always, maybe COVID, but hey, it is what it is. You get what I'm saying? You get the point. And that's with, even with trading the discipline to follow your rules, do what you're supposed to do, not deviate from your rules, and do that on a daily, consistent, and on. Oh, you got to look at it long term, like I always say, because one day of being disciplined is good, but it's only gonna benefit you if you continue do it over time. So if you do it good today, if you're disciplined today, you're just more likely to be disciplined, say tomorrow or the day after that. It's just a compound effect. If you do it
becomes
today,
a habit.
it's the same thing. If you don't do something, if you're not disciplined for multiple days at a time, the likelihood of you being undisciplined for those days after that is going to be far more likely. You know what I'm saying? So how would I build discipline? There's not really an easy way around it because even with me, someone personal, like I struggle with self-discipline a lot of the time because what I do in my industry, trading, it's a lot of mindset things that you got to deal with by yourself. So there's a lot of self-discipline that you got to always do. So how would I build it? It might seem like bad to say, but you just got to do it. Like it's as simple as that. Just do it. And there's ways that I would say to systematically go about doing it. So say you could create a routine. So you do the same thing every day so that over time it becomes a habit and you get used to it. Yeah. Or even if you say with building discipline, going to the gym, say you're only going to go for 10 minutes every day. By the time you get there, you're more than likely going to go for more than 10 minutes. But it's about just simply doing a little trick to trick your mind to be able to go. Because the hardest part is going. Once you're at the gym, it's easy from there. You're going to work out. Even if it's only for 20, 30 minutes, it's still better than nothing. Yeah. It's about actually going, actually doing it in the morning, actually following and getting up when your alarm goes off and not just clicking it. Because if you get in the habit of doing that, over time, you're going to continuously do that same thing. But that's how I would say to build discipline. It's easier said than done, obviously, but it comes down to just doing it.
Yeah,
that's really what it comes down to. Like, over there, just do it. Underline, you see it, do it. Do it.
I would say another way is if you really want to simplify is just do things you're supposed to do even when you don't want to do it. So like
that's what discipline is.
On the days we don't want to go to the gym, we all got those days, like
it's every day.
Headache or whatever, you're dealing with something and you don't want to work
tired, the weather's not good, but it comes down to doing it anyway. You're disciplined enough to do it even if you don't want to, because you know that from you doing that you're only going to benefit from it long term, even if it's not going to be something that you say benefit from on the temporary
immediately, right?
But that's how I would say building discipline. But how long have you been trading, and when did profitability kick in? So this is more of like a personal question since he doesn't trade. But how long have I been trading? I'm on my 3rd year. I've been trading, and when did profitability kick in? So I'm gonna get into a little bit kind of in depth with it. So there's a difference between profitability and then consistency. So profitability means that you're able to go in and make money, but that doesn't account for you also taking losses at the same time. So profitability, I say, kicks in pretty early for anybody because you can make money on your first trade. Does it necessarily mean you're profitable? Yeah, because I mean, you made money in it, even if you didn't necessarily know what you're doing. But being consistently profitable is something totally different. That's someone that's able to go in, week out, monthly, yearly basis, making profit over the long term, because a lot of people can make money on a daily basis. Same thing with, like I said earlier, people can go to the gym 1 day, 2 days, maybe a week, maybe two. But how many people are you going to be able to say, oh, how long have you been going to the gym? Oh, 5 years, 7 years?
Yeah.
There's not going to be a lot of people. Or same thing with trading. How long you been trading? Oh, I trade every day. There's some people that say, oh yeah, I trade here and there, off and on. But there's only when there's those certain people that consistently do something, they're going to be the ones that get better at it. And I say, when did profitability kick in? So I would say early on, maybe a few months, few weeks, maybe. It depends. This is kind of hard because you take a lot of trades as a day trader, so it's kind of hard to go back to my first trade. But I just remember, for example, I had one trade. It was, I don't know, early on in my career. I remember it was like a day I had to go to work in the morning. It was late at night. It was like 12 in the morning. And I took a shitty trade. I don't know what I was doing. I have no reason. I can't say why I was getting into a trade, but I was doing something. But when I woke up in the morning, I was up like $350. I'm like, damn. That was, I say, when I knew it was possible. Even though I might have lost that money afterwards, that's when I say profitability kicked in, when I realized, okay, this is possible. Even if I didn't necessarily know what I was doing, I know that there is a way to make money in it. Even if I can make a little bit here, a little bit there, I know that if I learn to do it over a time, I'm going to be able to do it. And I say that's when profitability kicked in for me, honestly. For you, none of you guys even traded, so that's we can move on to the next one. How did you stay disciplined during the beginning phase and through intermediate phase? So this is another, I say, trading question. So how did you stay disciplined? It's hard. It is not, there's no easy way around it. It is hard, but it comes down to just doing it anyway. There's going to be times where you deviate from your system or deviate from your rules, but then it comes down to then the next day making sure you do the right thing. And then the next day after that, because you can only take it one day at a time. If I say I mess up and I take too many trades today, there's not really much I could do in the moment that is going to fix that. I have to go into it tomorrow and just make sure I don't do that now. You got to learn from the mistakes. And in the beginning phases, how did I stay disciplined? I wasn't disciplined in the beginning phases, but that's part of the game. That's how you learn over time. You're not going to be perfect. Like, it's just like everything. You start off slow, slowly go up, but it's just over time. It's not going to be an immediate thing. And that's how I always be telling people. They're like, oh, how do I become disciplined? Oh, how do I become consistent? And it's not something that you just, oh, I'm consistent now. Oh, I'm profitable now. It's something that's going to happen over time. It's like when people ask, how do I get it? You got to ask different questions. Like, how would you go about getting consistent, or how would you go about getting disciplined? Not when did you get disciplined, because there's not really an easy answer. You never know when you get disciplined.
It's not just a certain time.
It's like the same thing. Like, oh, when did you touch your first million, or when did you touch your first 100,000? It's like you're not really gonna know when the money's all coming in, because you know what I mean.
You got to accumulate it. It's cumulative. It happens over time. It's gradual. It's a process.
Yeah, and so that I would say that's how I was with beginning phases. But if you go to intermediate phases, staying disciplined, it comes down to, like I said earlier, just creating systems to go about it, just kind of tricking your brain, just going around things, being smart about it, working smart, not working hard.
Yeah. I'm
not going to sit here and do the same thing that has shown not to work. I'm going to try to go around it. I'm going to find something else, find a different way to go about it. It's kind of hard. Y'all would have to get more in depth onto like the intermediate phases of what there, but I'm assuming this is a trading question, so that's how I'm going to answer that. But what's the strengths of the mind done for you? Manifestation, God, positive thinking. I'm going to let you can answer that one.
The strength of the mind.
So it's, I guess, like mindset.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie,
like mindset
man.
Type of thing.
You got to get your mind right before you get this money, because a lot of people they try to get this money and they don't know, like it's like climbing a mountain. It's difficult. You know, you gotta push through that stuff.
Nothing.
And if you're weak-minded,
nothing worth waiting for is easy.
Yeah, like if you're weak-minded, I would say handle that first, because it's so like detrimental. If you have a weak mind, like literally your life could fall apart. Literally, if you're weak-minded. So I would say handle that
mind
first.
is everything.
But what it's done for me, it helped me like just get to where I'm at today. I feel like my mind is in a way better place than it was last year. I would say just always train your mind, because your mind is like a muscle. You know, you got to train it every day. You got to that comes through discipline too.
It all ties together at the end of the day. A lot of the things, consistency, discipline, having a good mindset,
Yeah, patience.
they all come full circle at some point. But how I would answer it, what's the strength of the mind done for you? It's everything, especially with what I do. With what I do, 80% is mindset. So I say 20% is charts, 20% is the work. But like, the mind is everything. The mindset is what's going to keep you from following the rules. It's going to keep you on track. It's going to keep you from doing what you're supposed to. But it's also going to be the reason you're not doing everything. Because at the end of the day, all your actions are because of your brain. That's what's the root everything. If your brain was fucked up, if it was like you weren't saying stable, I would say you wouldn't be able to do any of the things that you're doing. You walk. Everything you do is with your brain. So your mindset is going to be the most important thing. And if your mindset is not in the right place, it could negatively affect you badly, because it's perspective is everything. The way you view everything, the way you view things is going to be so important in your life. It's just going to lead you in the right direction. But manifestation, I wouldn't say I believe in manifestation, but I do believe in speaking it to existence. Well, I guess is manifestation, but in a way, what I think of it as is when you keep saying the same thing, you're going to work for it because you're keeping it in your mind. It's not just you're going to forget about it. It's the same thing if you have a dream. People say to write it down so you remember, because you're going to forget over time, because over time your memory just it fades away, and that just comes with life. But if you say the same things over time, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be rich, I'm going to be rich. You're going to keep remembering that. It's going to be in the back of your head at all times. You're going to continuously work towards it. That's why having a goal is so important. Having goals is going to be the main reason that you achieve your goals, because if you don't know what you're shooting for, how are you going to achieve them? It's the same thing with having a plan. If you don't have a plan, those dreams aren't even going to matter. It's a wish at that point. If you have no way to get there, then it is not going to matter. And that all comes down to your mind. If you can't come to the conclusion on how to do something, then it's not really going to matter. It's just not going to pop into your hands. It's not going to be like fairy tale. You're just not going to get what you want just because you think you deserve it. You got to work towards it day by day, becoming disciplined, becoming consistent in all these aspects. And that's when it comes for you. But yeah, what's the strength of the mind done for you? It's done everything. Without my mind, shit, I wouldn't be here. Simple as that. What is your why? This one can get deep.
Oof.
This one can get real deep. So I would say, I'm not going to answer. I'm going to have you go first. But what is your why? I would say is why you want to get money. If you want to make money, why you want to be fit, just overall, what is your goal? I would say, like, why do you want to do everything you're doing, like long term?
So like my why, I would say I have a lot, but I would just cut it down to one. I would say freedom. That's a big one. Like freedom to just do whatever, like travel wherever, eat whatever I want, just, but then there's like whys for like, why do you go to the gym? You want to be in the best shape possible. But to be honest, I want to reach my full potential in everything I do. So that's my why, because I know that leads to the best life you can possibly live. It's as simple as that. Just living, literally, what people say, like living my best life. But
yeah, I feel you.
But
what would your best life be? Because you can get descriptive with freedom. Freedom could be a lot of things. Freedom from finances, freedom from people, freedom living by yourself from others.
I don't. To be honest,
freedom from the government.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't know what my best life would be, because it's like you don't know what your full potential is. You don't know, man. Like you can end up being the next, like the next billion.
But it's more or less your dream. Yeah, you don't know. You can have a dream and still you can accomplish it and then achieve more after. But what would your dream be necessarily?
My dream, so for me right now, is just being free financially, free of like time. Like I don't have I have a free schedule. I get to do what I want.
But I'm saying I'm trying to peel it another layer.
Yeah.
I know you want that. Why do you want the free time?
What do you like?
I'm saying you want the free time, you want the freedom, you want the money. For what?
You're saying
there's a reason behind all of it, because you want that to do something else. What is that basically? It goes deep into you get what I'm saying? Like you want the freedom, but you want that freedom and you want the money for what? Like that's your why. Yeah, it can get real deep, my boy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. You might have to go ahead.
Now, what is
'Cause I
my
ain't
why?
think
I
that
would
deep.
say, like on the outside layer, my why. I just want freedom. Yeah, money. I want say happiness, all of that. But if you peel it back a layer, why do I want all these things? So it gets deep. Like I say, I like animals. One thing I want to do with my money, I want to have say like later down the line, I'm trying to have like because you know how a lot of like shelters is like they kill the animals, you know, get some. But I remember I was listening to someone a while ago. He was talking about how he has like a no kill home for animals. So if no
Oh,
one
that's
gets them,
dope.
they
Yeah.
just kind of take care of them until they over time.
Okay,
they
now I
take
see
care
what
of
you're
them.
saying. Yeah,
So
now I
that's
see what
something
you're saying.
I want to do over time. Money, I want to be able to provide for the people. I want to be able to just me. I have a lot of stuff. I feel as if I'm a bougie person in my opinion. I want the penthouses. I want the cars. I
Yeah.
want the jewelry. I want the clothes. I want it all. Like you can see this. You see how this is right now. This is just kind of just a little sneak peek. But
Yeah.
yeah, my why is I want to be able to do things the other people aren't necessarily going to be able to do for themselves, and I want to be able to help people get in the same position to do
Yeah.
what I'm doing. Because another thing that I be always saying is when people be like, "Oh, why do you do what you do? Why do you help people? Why do you do this? Why do you do whatever you're doing?" Is basically just I want to do for other people what I would have wished I had myself, if that makes sense. So someone to help you without necessarily making you pay for it. There's always a free option. Like I say, I'll offer services, but as of right now, I do everything I do for free. And I've been doing it for free for 3 years. So it's like, even if I do charge for something, I did all of this for free out of the reason just because I want to help people. So there's always going to be another option. That's just something I do. And another reason why I want the money to be able to travel at that. Travel, that's something I love to do, but just the why goes deeper. Like the money is what I want, but the money I want is to be able
Yeah.
to use it to do the other things.
Yeah,
that
I see what
like,
you're saying.
that like the money is just a tool at the end of the day. You don't
Yeah.
want the money. You want the things that money's gonna be able to
To
necessarily buy. And with the freedom,
The freedom
I hate
to
working.
do what you want.
I
you
hate
know?
working. Like I'm glad I don't have no job. I'm
Yeah.
cool. Fuck that shit. Cause at the end of the day, bro, once
Yeah.
you realize what your worth is, you realize how you're just getting scammed out of your time. Because you learn how much you could be doing with that time that you have. And that's another major thing on my why. Why do I want the money? Why do I want the freedom? Because I don't have to listen to no one else either. I could do what I want when I want.
Yeah.
Based on whenever I want. And that's why another thing with the businesses I have is kind of mobile. I can kind of just move around. I could do a lot of things that I want to do from other places in the world. And that's what I'm going to continue to do because I want to have freedom from anybody too. If I want to go somewhere, I'm going to go somewhere. If I want to, like the worst thing that I hated when having a job is having to, you have to literally tell them when you got to ask when you want days off.
Yeah.
You have to ask them to go on vacation. You have to ask them and let them know ahead of time if you can't make it, even if it's not your fault.
You literally gotta wait to eat.
You gotta wait to eat
Like-
if you even get time to eat. There's
Right.
all these things that you have restrictions on yourself, and that's one thing that I want freedom from. I want fuck that shit. I'm free from that now, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna continue to be free from that to be able to do things like this that I will be able to enjoy that will actually give benefit to other people. And even then, I don't even necessarily get paid for it. So if I was at work
Yeah.
right now, I would be necessarily better off doing that. But the way I think, fuck that shit. I'm cool. But yeah, that's my why. I would say the money and the freedom to then do the other things that I love to do. What is your why?
Definitely, yeah, the freedom and the money and all that stuff. But I feel like eventually, like you're gonna get tired of all that. There's gonna be like a higher calling, because once a lot of these billionaires and millionaires, some of them got like miserable lives because they have no why. They have all this money, but they have nothing to do with it. So I would say my why would be exactly what you said, helping people. Because at the end of the day, even like you don't get it's nothing wrong with helping people. Like there's no con to it. If anything,
No one gets hurt.
you actually
There's
actually
no negatives to helping people.
right. You actually
benefits.
make more money helping people. Just like providing a service or whatever.
There was a quote. I forget. It was to make $1 billion, you got to help 1 billion people.
Yeah, change a
It was
billion
America.
lives.
Yeah, change 1 billion lives.
Yeah.
So that's over there too. But yeah,
Like literally, even courses. Like I know you have some courses.
courses is like everyone benefits from. It.
Yeah,
Teach someone if you're given the right value. If you're given the right value. If you teach the correct things, there's nothing wrong for people to pay for it. Nothing is free. Time isn't free. Your time isn't free. And all the time you put into something to learn something isn't going to be free. Just because you put the time into it doesn't mean that someone they deserve it now. They didn't put the work in, so they're going to have to use the money that you put the work in to make to then do this, to then put the work in to learn it. That just goes with anything. Nothing comes free. Like you guys being here, this is your time. That's not free. Nothing's ever going to be free. Attention's not free. All of that. So that's how I feel about the courses. But yeah, like you said, courses can change people's lives because you're charging someone to pay attention to something. Because if a lot of people don't pay for something, they're not going to appreciate the value it has, such as YouTube and how much YouTube has on there. People aren't going to take advantage because it's free. But if you put your money into something, you're going to take it. You're actually going to take it serious.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about that.
Definitely I'm heavy on what you said. Like your time is way more valuable than the money they're paying you for it. You know, when you work these minimum wage jobs.
Way more. Like, especially if you work harder than other people that are in the same, say, they're in the same, what is it, job class or job, what's it called? What
do you mean?
Position, job position. Like, even if you're in the same position and you work harder than someone else, you're still more than likely going to get paid the same thing.
You're going to get paid the same.
Off of rate. So you're not even really going off of value. You're not going. You're getting paid for the time. You're not getting paid for what you're doing for them. That's why when I used to work, I would do. Shit, it is what it is. I ain't gonna be top worker. I ain't gonna get paid more.
That's like Rich Dad Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. How he says, "Don't trade time for money."
Nah, never trade time for money. You want to be paid for the value that you put in. Yeah. Of course, you're getting paid for the value. Trading, I'm getting paid for the value that I'm learning. Right. Let's say you're getting paid for the value that you were able to learn what buildings to do and what to do to them to be able to make cash flow from. You get paid for the value. If you get a speaking event, you're getting paid for the value that you're giving to them. Yeah. The podcast, if this gets monetized, I will make money from it because I gave value to you guys and you guys are watching it right now. You get what I'm saying? It's just giving value to people. That's what really brings the money, and that comes in different ways all the time. Like even in the gym, I wouldn't say giving value. I mean, but even if you teach people, still giving value. You're able to. I
go to the gym. I help people with their form all the time. You know.
Shit, nah, man, I don't be helping like that. That ain't my job. But hey, I got my own things to worry about. Now that's what is. I say that's the what is your why. But how do I make my dreams a reality? This can get. You can go about it a few ways, but I would say what it really comes down to, how to make your dreams a reality, is to have a plan. You actually need a plan. Like you need to have a step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like even if it goes up to step 100, but you got to have a plan to follow, because if you don't have a roadmap, you're not going to know how to get there. Yeah. So if you got to have the plan. Once you have the plan, you got to actively work 1% at achieving it every day, even if it's just a little bit every day. It might take you 5 years, might take you 2 years, might take you 10 years. But if you have the plan, you know what needs to be done, and you work at it a little bit every day. Even if you fail, you might have setbacks, but you know if you work at it a little bit every day, over time, that dream that you want will become a reality. But you have to have a set plan behind it. You can't just, how am I going to do it? You got to literally find out. You got to learn how to make the money to, say, buy that car. You got to learn how to get the good credit to be able to afford that house that you want. Yeah. You got to learn to do all the things that then lead to you getting that dream, because your dreams just don't become reality. You got to turn your reality into your dreams. Yeah. You got to turn your reality into your dreams. Your dreams aren't going to become a reality. You make your reality what you envisioned your dreams to be. And it comes down to having the vision. And if you can have the vision, you can make it happen. You can't imagine something that doesn't exist. Yeah.
I would say literally the same thing, but literally probably write down your goals every day. Mm-hmm. What else? Write down your goals every day, and you just gotta have an aim. So yeah, write down your goals every day, and then just be disciplined, because you gotta persevere through any. It's just gonna be obstacles that are gonna arise in your path, and then you just gotta find a way around it, and then
that's what it comes down to. Is that's what everything. You're always gonna have obstacles, but those obstacles are gonna be what is gonna make or break you from failing. Those obstacles are gonna be, if you keep going after, I can always relate stuff back to trading, because it says what I do, and all these concepts go in the same thing. Say I lose a trade, if I could either quit or I could either keep going, and every time I get an obstacle, I can either quit or keep going. Every time you keep going, it's only gonna make it so you learn from that. So the chance of it happening is gonna be less likely. So the more losses you take, the less likely you're gonna be to in the future keep taking those losses if you're learning from them. What would you say? What else would you say about how would you make a...
You got to go do it, man. But a lot of people, they get what we call analysis paralysis. They just be trying to just learn all they know about the topic, but without actually going ahead and doing it, you know? So...
No, that's really what it comes... A lot of people do that. They'll set the plan, or they know what to do. They say they'll do something, but they never do it. They don't actually take the action. And if you don't take the action, it's never going to start. The hardest part is starting. Yeah. With the gym, learning a skill, doing this podcast. If we would have never started, if we would have never actually sat here and do it, we would have never learned what we're going to do wrong, what we need to improve on, what's gonna do. If I would have never learned, I would have needed to put fucking other bigger, better batteries on that bitch. So shit, you just learn as you go. You have failures, but you got to learn from it. That's really what it comes down to. That's how you improve over time. But yeah, keep the consistency too.
Stop bullshitting.
Nah, facts. Stop bullshitting. Stop being a bitch. Keys to consistency. What would you say? Give it like you say.
I would say
top 3, 4.
I would say all right. I would say this one is key for sure. Self motivation. So talk to yourself in your head. That little voice that be telling you, "Hey, don't do this. You know it's bad." Like you're self conscious. You really gotta like have a consistent dialogue with them and have one that self motivates you. You know, because a lot of people, they say they try to look around for things that motivate them. Nah, man, sometimes you need self motivation, and that's facts. You know, that pushes you to be consistent, because that's a like, you don't need any external motivators.
I kind of have like a say on this. I think it's something you told me before. Motivation doesn't exist, and at first I didn't really understand what you meant. But then when you learn certain things, it comes down to discipline. Motivation doesn't matter. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to wake up and trade it. I don't want to do a lot of shit, but I have to do it anyway, regardless if I'm motivated.
It's like
now. But I get what you're saying. You gotta make it so you do it yourself. You gotta make yourself do it. Yeah. So self motivation comes. I would say that's discipline to an extent anyway. Yeah. Because you're just making yourself do it. Even you can say motivate. It comes down to perspective. At the end of the day, other people are gonna look at it differently. But that's how I look at it personally. I say motivation isn't really real. You got to make yourself do it. Yeah. But what are other keys to consistency would you say? I say persistence. Yeah. Discipline.
Patience. I would throw patience on there.
Patience, definitely. Yeah, patience, definitely. Patience, persistence, discipline. I think those are top 3. I might be thinking of. There's probably a few other ones that I'm not thinking of as of right now. I'll say them if they come to mind. But patience, persistence.
You just gotta want it, man. If you don't want it, you're not gonna be consistent. You gotta want it.
That's what it comes down to. If you don't want it. You're not gonna put the work in.
Simple as that, man.
Simple. You gotta do simple things.
You gotta do that shit, man. Ain't no one else gonna save you in this life. Like you can be on the urge of suicide. You know what I'm saying? Like no one's gonna save you. You gotta go do that stuff, because you know what happens when you grow up and you're and then your mom dies or something, or your parents die, and you let's say you're an only child. You have no one like.
You're all you got. You're born alone. You're gonna
die alone. It gets dark.
You're gonna have
you gotta go
in your life, but at the end of the day, no one is gonna owes you anything, and you don't owe anyone anything. They don't need to do the things that they do for you. They don't need to be there for you. If they do, then they're doing it just because they want to. But no one owes you anything in life. Yeah. And once you realize that, you start working towards your own thing. You have to start to provide for yourself. You start to not leech off of other people, because you know that if it comes down to it and something goes wrong, it's just you. You're not going to be able to have them no more. If something happens to them, then what? You want to be stable at all times. You want to be able to, if you say break up with your girlfriend, you don't want to lose the house.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
You want to be able to do all these things by yourself. Man. Those I would say were the keys to consistency: persistence, patience, discipline. I think those are the top 3. I don't think anything else is.
Yeah, nothing tops those. Those are like, but those are like this is things that have been studied since like forever. Like these are these 3 things. What you say? You said discipline, patience,
persistence,
and persistence. Yeah, like these things have been in effect since we became humans. Like. You got to do these things. If you never learn these things, you're never going to live a stable life. You know, it's really going to be kind of a shitty life. I'm not going to lie to you. And you see it all the time. You know, you see people, you know, in the outside world where they have, you know, they talk about, you know, they work these minimum wage jobs, and a lot of them, they did make excuses when they were younger, and now they're old and they're bitter, and they're still working minimum wage job, still exactly where they're at, and just complaining, making excuses because they didn't execute on these 3 principles.
Yeah, and it's the type of thing where I be feeling bad for certain people. Like, say I see like an older lady working at McDonald's, or I see like an older man working at McDonald's, or taking the bus. But then it's like, it comes down to, why are you in that position, and why did you allow yourself to be in this position? And I can't feel bad for someone that doesn't feel bad for themselves.
Like there's a lot of people I know, they're gonna say, oh, well, people have different life circumstances. Yeah, we get that, but if you have the ability to change your life and you don't do it, it's gonna hurt you in the long run. I'm saying if you have the ability to. So like,
I think most
I know
people have the ability to.
yeah, but they're gonna say, you know, there's starving kids in Africa and stuff like that.
But even then, those people, they'll put the work in if they have the opportunity. That's the
If they have the opportunity, I would say definitely take it. A lot of people don't take the opportunities in their face, and they miss out.
I made a post earlier. So take the risk or you'll miss the chance. Because if you don't do it, someone else will. And if you don't take advantage of certain opportunities, you might never get that certain opportunity again. That's not always going to happen. It sometimes comes back. You might sometimes get the same opportunity that you had before.
Yeah.
But it's not. You can't bet on that always happening. You got to always be ready. It's like the same thing with having money saved. So when a certain money opportunity or investment comes along, that you have the opportunity to now do that. You don't have to go take a loan. You don't have to go. We're looking around looking for money to be able to do it. You have it now that was set aside for the specific thing. Yeah, and that's something my dad always taught me. Just always have it ready to then put it to it. So you're always prepared. And preparation is everything. You can't. You got to prepare for everything. One thing I always say is prepare for the worst, expect the best, or expect the worst, prepare for the best.
To be honest, you kind of talked about this. I think it was keys to consistency, but you kind of talked about how a lot of people think they're owed something in life, and it's like I want to dive into that. Like, we talk about this all the time. Like people who feel entitled.
Yeah, that's. I think that was the word I was looking for earlier. Entitlement.
What do you think about our culture, our society diving into a more like self-entitled, like everyone feels self-entitled.
I think the reason behind everyone being self-entitled and deserving, they think they deserve more, is because I say social media and what they view on a daily basis. Because if you're viewing, say, millionaires every day, if you're watching people drive Lambos every day, if you're watching people buy jewelry every day, you're gonna think, why them and not me? When the whole time they put the work in so that you could watch them, when you should have been putting the work in right now instead of watching them. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of just, it's like it comes back down to technology and the pros and cons and that it's had on society.
We were literally just talking about this on the balcony.
That's what it really comes down to.
The pod.
Is social media and that.
You want to dive into social media a little bit?
We can. Look, social media is the reason behind like a lot of the females acting the way they do. Is a reason behind there's a lot of good and bad behind it, but it comes down to using it correctly, because we can use it to hate on other people, or we can use it
for positive,
to motivate yourself to then try to achieve certain things. But it all comes down to, I say, the way you perceive certain things. Like if you see someone posting their car and you automatically think they're flexing, then you're going to more than likely come off as hating towards them. Or if you look at it as, oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, that's cool. I know that it's possible. My journey and how I got here. So I wouldn't say my journey's been big, but I'm only 19, so my journey is still starting. I'm only really beginning my journey. I'm going from one journey to the next. I say chapter 1 to chapter 2 out of chapter 100. So that's how I'm looking at it. But how I got here, it depends. I mean, it's hard to say how I got here because I'm not really in the position that I want to be. But I used to work at UPS while I used to work at multiple warehouses. I always worked at warehouse jobs just because I like the physical moving. I don't like staying still all day. And I end up trading
and stuff, you know.
Like doing this right here is cool because I'm not gonna be doing it for hours at a time. Right. And trading is not bad because I'm only there for maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, like pushing it max. But when you're at a job, say you're at a desk for 8 hours, maybe 12 hours, or you're driving a car for 10 hours, nah, I can't do that. I need to be moving, physically doing something. That's kind of why I kind of like working out, and how I'm always fit, because I always had a job where I'm physically doing stuff. And that's how my body kind of gets used to it. I don't really get sore like other people because my body is constantly under stress. But yeah, I used to work a lot of warehouse jobs, and as I was working warehouse jobs, I would be trading, and I was learning to trade. And I started trading during 2020 pandemic when I had no job. I got the PUA money. I went and bought myself a car, and then from there I was kind of just learning day by day. I had no job because it was COVID. And I was just learning, put in the work in every day, 8-hour days, just learning. And even though I wasn't necessarily making money, I was learning the skill set to put myself in the position that I am now 3 years later. I was learning every day, watching YouTube videos, buying courses, losing money in the market, making some money, losing it all. But for the first 2 years, I was losing money. I wasn't making nothing. I was just, over time, I trusted the vision that I had and the vision that I would be in the position that I am now, with a balcony, with my nice setup. Like shit like this that I wish I would have had, say, 10 years ago when I used to play Xbox. I remember Black Ops 2 and 1, like a nice gaming setup. I would just makeshift make one.
We used to watch YouTube gaming desk setup.
I still be watching them.
Yeah, no, me too.
I still be watching. That's how I got shit like this. I be getting ideas like, see with my headset right there.
Yeah,
like right next to you, Tommy. Like right there, you see what is on? Mm-hmm. Nah, the one on the side. You see what is on? Like take it off real quick. Like take that. You see that?
You talking about that one?
Yeah, you see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see you be learning, you don't even know. But yeah, and then from working all those jobs, I was able to over time just accumulate enough money to move out, and that's kind of where I am now. I'm trying to get funded more money. I'm trying to have like
What are you shooting for, bro?
It's this month, August. Yeah. I'm trying to have like maybe 300K funded capital by the end of the year. That's my goal. That's not money in my bank account, but I'm trying to have 300K funded money that I'm able to trade on a consistent basis. Because if I'm able to risk 1.5%, it's about 4,500, which is about 1.5%. So I'll be risking about 4,500 per trade.
Yeah.
For potential to make at least 9,000 per trade. Nothing less. I'm either making 9,000 or I'm losing 4,500 or I'm making nothing. So that's where I'm trying to be at, and that's on a daily basis. If I win 4 trades, shit, that's a lot of money, bro. But you get what I'm saying? That's a goal that I have for myself. But as of right now, how did I get here? I'm not even gonna get too in depth with it because, in my opinion, this isn't that much for me. I have way bigger dreams that I'm trying to do, so this isn't really my dreams yet. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, my journey, how I got here, that's really where I am. I'm not far into my journey. I'm only just getting started, in my opinion. I just moved out, so that's really it. What made me start investing? This gets deep. It goes back into the job and everything. Mm-hmm. I just hate working for other people. That's the main thing that I learned, and that was back from high school when I used to just read Grant Cardone books. That's when I started learning books. I say reading books in 10th grade when I would just stop paying attention to school. I'll bring my own books and read them there. I was learning about real estate, just learning about passive money. And that's when I started doing my first business. I was like Shopify, and I was like back in the
when was that?
10th grade, like trying to do Shopify stores. And that's when I first got my like first stages into investing in a way with like an online drop shipping. And that's kind of what led me in a way to how I'm trading now, because I think that's how I got involved with trading, because my YouTube history still had like stuff with that niche.
Yeah.
And at some point I got recommended a video with trading. That's how I think it really came about.
There's no point in not investing. Like, what else are you gonna do with your money? You're just gonna use it on instant gratification, just buying clothes every day. You're just gonna buy new Off-White, new Supreme sneaks every day. You know what I'm saying?
Money is a tool. You gotta use the tool.
It has utility. Money's really, literally, I see it literally as a tool. Like, a lot of people, they just
it is a tool. I don't care how you see it. It is a tool. Like, you need the money without, like, if you couldn't buy nothing, you wouldn't want the money.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it comes, like, if this was say $1 or $100,
yeah,
but you couldn't use it, what value would you have for it? There's no reason. It's the value that it has. Even if it's just a piece of paper, it's the value that it has.
Yeah.
It comes out to courses, value, your value as a person, your value is everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, what made me start investing? That's really what it comes down to. I just started investing to get out the rat race, to stop working for other people, to work for myself, and to be able to have the freedom to do all the things that I actually enjoy. Have you really started investing yet?
No, but I am going to tell you this. I am looking into a lot of investments, and it's a lot of stuff you can invest out there. So it kind of gets tricky on where you want to.
You got to put your money in the right places, because just because you invest, it doesn't necessarily mean you'll make money.
Exactly. So
there could be bad investments.
You got to look at the risk factor and the return on investment. You got to look at both of those.
The ROI.
Yeah, literally. And then from there, you get a gauge on, okay, what investment is terrible and what's good. So yeah, just look at the risk and the return on investment, and
facts. Yeah, the ROI is everything. If you're gonna invest, you got to make sure that you're gonna make money over time with it. You're not gonna invest money to not make money. It's kind of makes no sense. I kind of just want to get.
This?
How do y'all feel about my guy Andrew Tate? Would y'all let him mentor you? Yeah, Andrew Tate's my guy. Anyone that has a problem with him, they could fight me. I'm gonna go. I wish to be as bald as him one day.
Look, people hate him because he tells it how it is.
They don't like how he says it.
Yeah, they don't like which is dumb. Because to be honest, like,
because
he's saying things that people are too scared to say. So who cares how the hell he says it? He's the only one saying it.
Facts.
So it's like you can't.
People they don't like how it makes them feel, but in reality, what he's saying majority of the time is true. And if you have a lot of people, a lot of men at that agreeing with him,
then
what makes you think that he's lying? That just doesn't make sense. If we're all agreeing and we all like him, what does that tell you?
People just don't like him just because
Mostly females. Mostly females don't like him because you know the shit that is going on. I'm not gonna get too into it, but do you notice how most men fuck with him?
Yeah.
What does that tell? What does that tell you? That majority of us think the same way. We got the same beliefs, but he's actually saying it.
It's got to be some truth.
And he actually has an audience to say these things, unlike a lot of other people, and that's why he has the audience that he does. He's not in jail, and he's a millionaire with social proof. So I mean, what he says obviously must have some.
It's got to have some validity.
Yeah, what I'm saying, obviously he's doing something right. So that's how I look at it. But yeah, that's my guy.
Would I let him mentor me?
Yeah, he's definitely teaching me stuff. Yeah. He's doing better than me. It wouldn't make sense. Shit. You want
to take advice from people that are doing better than you.
Always, not people that are doing.
Yeah,
you can take. I guess you could take it with a grain of salt. From
you could take legal advice from a lawyer or health advice from a doctor, because that's their that's their.
But I ain't gonna take advice. I'm not gonna take drug advice from a cop.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take investment advice from a fucking coworker. We're working at the same job. Why would I take investment advice on? You
want to learn from people that actually have have the proof in front of you. The proof is in the pudding. You're not gonna at least with me. A lot of stuff I do is live. There's only so much that I can't show. There's only so much I can show people at this point. I damn near recorded my.
He's 100% transparent, man.
Real shit, I've damn near recorded my whole trading career. Damn, at this point, 100 something days of live streams. Just imagine that. At least an hour each. 100, maybe hard, 170, maybe 120 hours. I said 170, maybe 200 hours just on those playlists.
Goes back to discipline, man.
Comes back to inconsistency, just doing on a daily basis. All them videos added up. I only have 1,000. I'm almost at 1,100 subscribers on YouTube. I have about 55,000 views. But even with 1,000 subscribers, those videos over time, if you do enough of them, some of them will gain traction. And over time, they're still going to get views. So it adds up to just having that. I have 400 something videos on my channel. Some people don't even have that, but they have millions of subscribers.
I remember when he first started his. I remember when you first started your YouTube account. We were on Xbox, and he was like, "Yeah, I think I'm about to get in a trade." And I'm like, "Man, go for it, man. Shoot for it." And literally since then, it's been nothing but up. So it's he's had some.
Man, we always everyone got. It just comes down to just how to show them too. I don't really necessarily show them. I show my losses and stuff, but it's I'm not gonna make a big deal because there's no point. You got to treat a loss the same way as you would treat a W. So you don't get the emotions are everything. How you react to it is gonna be everything. If you treat it the same way, you're not gonna have the likelihood of reacting badly. And
look at where you are today. I literally I remember he was down here for vacation for a week, down in Tampa, and I told him, I was like, "Hey man, why don't you just move here?" And after that, he moved here literally, and he's able to make that happen because I forget because I remember the conversation. Because I remember when I was here, I showed him how much money I had, and he was like, "Okay," and I was like, "I'm doing pretty good, I guess." But then he called me. He was like, "Why haven't you moved yet? What's stopping you?" I was like, "Oh no, man. I have the money. I want to move." So I was like, "Well, fucking now I'm here," and I think that was 2 months ago. And I guarantee you, a lot of people, they that's got to make. You just got to do it where they're at. They stay in their hometown. That's gonna hold. You got to get out your comfort zone. You got to move out the places that you're comfortable with. Because until you get uncomfortable, you're not gonna try new things. And another thing, your hometown's gonna have the most haters. The most haters. A lot of people they don't support you. They don't repost none of your stuff. And it's because they're from the same place. Not even that. It's because you came from the same thing. But you're doing better than them. You came from the same area, but you're doing better than them. They think, why you not me? When they put the work in. People don't realize that. People shit just doesn't happen. That ties in to victim mentality. It's a lot of the stuff that we talk about all ties into each other at the end of the day. A lot of the concepts, there's worldly laws that they all repeat. If you notice, the same shit I do with trading and I apply to working out. It's just universal laws. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. A lot of the stuff that you do, and one thing is how you that saying. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Yeah, these principles, they're good forever. They're never gonna as long as we're gonna be human beings, they're gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's facts. Forever. Always. Yeah, I think that's really it. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. That was a good little first one. I'm gonna edit it, see how it is, and everything. Make sure the audio's all good. But this was just kind of a test run. Had some questions. In the future, I'm probably gonna have actual topic. Podcasts on certain things we can really get into. This was kind of just a test run just to see how it is, just to get the feel for it, get used to being on camera, how it sounds, to get the questions, just use everything, see how it's going to come out
quality. I appreciate everyone for being here. Make sure you subscribe to FBA Capital, the best YouTube trading channel out here. All the free content. Follow him on Instagram. You can say it and I'll put it in there.
Aquiles F_. So my name is Aquiles F_.
Copy that. And we got Tommy behind the camera. If you want to come over here, show yourself.
All right, my Instagram is Tommy Kicks, TOMMIEKIX.
Copy that. Yeah. Tommy. With that being said, that's really it. See you all on the next podcast. Make sure you stay tuned for the trading videos. If you are into the trading, that's my specialty. Yeah. That's really it. Appreciate everyone for being here, and I'll see you on the next one.
All right, boys.